Hey guys, haven't done a video in a while. I've been trying to troubleshoot an issue I was having with the motor here. I guess in the last video, I took my wife down to the grocery store and I don't know, to get whatever. Anyways, on the way back home, I noticed there was somewhat of a loss of power with the truck. So I didn't know what was going on at the time. But it sounded like when it would get toward the top of the RPM range before shifting gears, it sounded like she was making it sound like she was up against the governor, unlike a sound I'd ever heard before on any of my test runs or driving with this truck. It was more of a dun 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 when I would be at top of the RPM range before shifting, and when I'd shift, it just didn't have as much power as she used to. So I knew there was something going on. So what I did did some research and feedback from the steel soldiers. Kind of came up with there's issue possibly with the fuel system. So what I did is I secured a kit off of eBay and I rebuilt the fuel pump. When I initially got this truck, I noticed there was some fuel on the bell housing down here, but that was before I even knew what was going on with this motor. I didn't know where anything was, but I remember there was fuel on the motor. But she ran fine at first, so I didn't even think anything of it until when I had her out. Then it started dawning on me, these different memories start coming back to you when you're having issues, and that's what I remember. So I did some research, and lo and behold, found out, that was the fuel pump, and there are two oil seals in there that the shaft rotates. You have the diesel side, and then you have the motor oil side, I guess, or your engine side, or whatever, and the seal on the diesel side was obviously leaking. I don't know if you can see that, but some of the paint is actually coming off right there from the diesel dripping down on it. So at the time when she was having the issue, there was no diesel on the bell housing, so I just figured it's probably the seal. So I took the fuel pump apart, and lo and behold, I smelled that seal, and it had a burnt smell to it. I don't know if it was from age or if it was from friction of it being so old and crusty, and she was just sucking air into the fuel lines, causing the issue. So I bought a rebuild kit off of eBay for like 57 bucks shipped, as well as I bought this USGI oil-filled fuel pressure gauge just so I can monitor and make sure the fuel pump is doing what it should be doing. And I picked this one up for 15 bucks shipped. Pretty good deal. So I got everything in. I made sure all the fittings were good to go. I actually, on this fuel suction line here, I used my little suction pump to make sure fuel was freely flowing through the system, and it was. Replaced all the filters, made sure everything was torqued down good, and I took this fitting off, and I used this line to suck diesel throughout the line, as well as made sure that there was diesel in this line as well. So I try to take out as much air as possible before starting it. In fact, this will be the first startup of the truck, and I just hope everything goes well. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Before I do, I just want to make sure nothing sounds funky. Maybe I put the fuel pump in wrong. So just 1 second. So everything sounds good there. So we'll go ahead and start her up to make sure everything's good to go. Everything sounds pretty good, actually. Don't see any diesel leaks. We're at about 29 psi. About 70 psi at wide open throttle. I'm not getting that cutout sign I was getting out before. Actually, everything's sounding pretty good. Let's check out oil pressure and all that good stuff. Just for S&G. Oil pressure looks good. Everything looks fine. So, thank God that's all she was. Alright, Wsucougarx signing off.